welcome to the Blue Byron Books podcast. Uh, I'm really energized by this conversation. This is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be
I'm
really fun.
joined. Yeah, I'm joined by Fortune. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here on this beautiful Friday. And it's a little gray, but nice Friday. You can be happy that it's Friday.
Do you feel? Do you feel like days have their own kind of vibes?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they like to switch though. I'll say that they like to interchange. You expect Monday to be all drab and stuff, but then some Monday's the sunniest day. And, it's just it's like playing a hot potato with days. I guess that's the best way I can describe it.
What's your favorite day of the week?
Uh, Obviously Friday because I got a weekend to look forward to. But that Thursday's pretty exciting because you're only one away from Friday, and I guess Monday's not bad. It could be good sometimes. Days off or just even just curious how the week's gonna go. So yeah, I would say my favorite days is just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's what I give
Yeah.
because
Friday certainly
Fridays.
has a magnetism about it.
Yeah,
Um,
it feels like
okay,
endless
before
possibilities.
yeah. See, Saturday you're already sort of in it, so
Yeah,
there's
you're in
less
it.
potential in it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Friday, it's like it's mysterious. It's like, oh, what's gonna bring this time?
What
What can I do?
wonders await me?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why don't you, before we go on, briefly introduce yourself?
Oh well, my name is Fortune. Full name Fortune Accime-Tobias. I'm an inspiring writer currently in college right now, and currently with Blue Byron Books. Writing something really special. So, I'm very excited for when that could be unveiled. It's in the coming up stages. The building blocks. That's what I say.
How does it feel to like be working on a project, writing, knowing that there's like a direction and it's like going somewhere? You know what I mean?
Uh, I guess it's like um it's odd because when you envision it, like you envision it, but it's kind of like, it's just I guess it just feels like, it goes and it's like, not really you don't really you can't really what's the word? You can't really predict or anticipate, how it will go, you know what I mean? It's like you just like you just when you're doing it, you're just doing it knowing that, this next checkpoint's up and it's just like it doesn't feel like everything else stops. It just feels like, it's like it's like it's like being on a train, it's like you just keep chugging along. So I guess that's how it feels, like the direction, but you're excited to see where the destination is.
Yeah.
So it's like a train where you don't know where it's going. You're just gonna reach a stop and it's exciting. So yeah, that's the best I could describe it.
Yeah. What got you into writing and like reading in the first place and books?
Well, obviously when I was growing up, you had homework, but what really got me into reading was my mom. My mother, honestly, is where the bulk of the story is um she got me both into reading and writing pretty early on. She got me into reading really early on and made sure that I kind of stuck with it in my older years. There was a portion of time where I was being homeschooled, so she would make sure that I got what I had to do there. So it would be, she would have me read, and my dad would also do it too, but she was more like the reader. Well, she was an actual writer, so it's like, you know, she made sure I read and then write about, write to practice my handwriting and stuff, and just my
Mm.
spelling. And then elementary school, you would always have to read a book and then write like two paragraphs on what you read, like that chapter. So that also definitely influenced me to do that. But what really got me like into it is just growing up watching these cartoons, and like it really was the cartoons that got me into every piece of writing that I do now, because it's like when you're a kid, it's just like it infects you. You know what I mean? It's just like infectious. Like the cartoons, it pulls you in as a child, but like it just pulled me in a different way where it's just I wanted to make my own and I just wanted to do my own like I had all these like my imagination would just run wild because children, their imaginations are just, going, they're making up games and doing that. But like it never stopped for me, you know what I mean? Like the imagination just coming up with stuff, it just always happened. And then on my own, I just naturally started drawing. Like drawing just became like just instinctive. I would always draw in class, or draw at home. And then I mixed I mixed the writing and like just the want to create stuff and the drawing, and that's where eventually it came. And then as I got older, I started to appreciate writing more because as a kid, obviously, it's like like it's just all like you just thinking in your head, so
Yeah.
it's just sporadic. But when you get a little older, you start to appreciate more of the pen, just writing stuff down, whether it's digital or on paper, what I mean? Or just being a little bit more organized with it because I'll say in the beginning, I just was writing on my head and then I started writing down so other people could see what I was doing. So yeah, that's how that's just how that all became. It was all just a series of events that led into my interests just peaking and just where I am now.
What cartoons were you watching?
All types, I got the classics, obviously got like the more modern classics like SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. You go a little bit back, you get Rugrats. I was watching Rocko's Modern Life. I was watching, I go as far like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes. You had the Disney Junior stuff. But I would say my favorites were definitely The Amazing World of Gumball and Gravity Falls. That was my main favorite. My main favorite was Gravity Falls. That honestly influences me to this very day. Just full stop. That was my favorite. I'll still say it's probably my favorite cartoon, or at least the one that I think of first when I think of like best cartoons. So it was just a
What
bunch of
about
stuff.
Gravity Falls?
I don't know. It just didn't feel like a kid show. It was appealing to kids, but like it just it felt like it had just like the more like like just like because it was a very mystery oriented show where like it would hide all these messages and stuff, and it had real depth to its characters, like like actually doing stuff, and it would just show things a little bit. It was a little bit more brave with what it would show, and it just became so interesting because it felt more like when you're watching a cartoon, it can feel very like a lot of cartoons feel very they're very locked into that silly nature. But Gravity Falls, like when it was drama, it felt dramatic. It felt that cinematic, and that's what influenced me. It felt like, what I mean? It felt like, what I mean? It didn't just feel like a cartoon, it felt like a show. It felt more like I guess I want to say adult, but it just felt more mature, more flavorful. I don't know. I don't want to say flavorful. It just felt more like and I
More
mean
like
more food for thought.
substantial?
Yeah, more substantial, more food for thought, honestly.
Do you do you feel that there's something in there that while you're working on your project right now, the working title is I Woke Up Mythologized.
Yes.
And do you feel like anything, can you point to anything in Gravity Falls that you feel as you're writing this new project has influenced it?
I can definitely say the way just like visually, I would say like visualizing like how Gravity Falls is colors and like how it was in Oregon. It helps me visualize that for there. Just like the setting visualization. I got um just like I want to say how the characters written because I don't write like the same way Gravity Falls was obviously, but I'll just simply say like maybe some of the humor of Gravity Falls influenced me a little bit more. Just I can't explain it because it's just like when it comes to humor, it's just like it's in a moment thing. What else? The just I would say from what Gravity Falls influence for me. I suppose it's just like
You're
It's
probably too much in it to realize it. I feel like you
yeah,
have to, like, do it, and then when you look back, the dots connect a
yeah.
lot clearer.
Yeah, you just have to,
Yeah.
like, zoom out because it's a little, because like, this probably
Right now,
influences
you're
you
zoomed
all
in.
over. Yeah, right now it's like, now I got, like, I'm writing it out, so it's a little hard, but once I zoom out,
Yeah.
it'll be easier to think. So right now, it's just environment and just the visual familiarity and just maybe a little bit of humor. That's all I can pick apart right now from Gravity Falls.
Nice.
It just picks, what I mean? It's like your influences, it's not bad to just, I guess, not to say, wear them on your sleeve, just, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's like history a little bit, how what
Mhm.
influences you, because that's character defining for for you as an artist. So yeah.
What 3 books would you say have influenced you most?
The
I'm always
Bible
curious
we
asking
talked,
people this
yeah,
question because you get such a
we
range of stuff.
we talked about it before. So it was a little hard to discuss to think about this, but I thought about it a little bit. So I'm gonna say first off was the Finance of Freddy's novel trilogy, because I remember that was like when I saw that, because my mom used to take us to Barnes and Noble. I would remember she would take us to Barnes and Nobles to read, and I'll just go searching. So I remember Finance of Freddy's book trilogy. It's like I was interested because back then, like, it was like Gravity Falls, like the mystery. It was darker, but it was the mystery that, like, the
Yeah.
secrets, which definitely, like, I liked, like the secrets and just picking apart details. I think that's what I love most. It's just when I find details and stuff. It's just, what I mean. I try to do that in my own writing. The symbolism and the details and all that stuff. Just, you know, I find myself just loving to do that. I could get really in depth with that. But back to that, the Five Nights at Freddy's novel trilogy. I remember when I saw it. It was cool because I didn't think it would get to that point. It was different. So I read that, and it was different. So that influenced me on that front. Just on the fact that, you know you could, the books I feel are like, it's like a what's a perfect middle ground, it's like, what I mean? It's just like anything could become a book. Anything could become a book. So it's just like, what I mean? It made me appreciate that more. Now, another second would be the Hardy Boys book, because I remember reading that. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Because later during the pandemic, I'd have to read. My mother would make me, just read books, just to keep me sharp, I guess. And I was reading the Hardy Boys book, and I was just like, I don't know, I just found them really interesting. I just thought, the way they focused on their central characters. I think that's what, because I always try to do that, like just focusing on the characters that you promote and we're here for. That's what I try to do most, like just focusing on that and getting the most out of your character interactions. That's really a part of my style. It's just to really get in with your main character. You know what I mean? Just really make them, like, just to earn their spot in, like, pop culture and all that. And I think,
Mm,
I appreciate what Hardy Boys did there with the focus of the brothers. And finally, Charlotte's Web, because I believe that was like the first book that really I was just thinking back on it, like going all the way back. I was like, oh yeah, I know it. Charlotte's Web really stuck, because it's just like it was like just kind of the first one of the first books I can really remember from like such a young time, but also just was stuck with you, where it's like, because like most books you read are shorter pictures, and they're happy. And like the ending, like when saw it was a non-happy ending, it kind of changes your perspective a little bit. It's like it's like a book can end bad, and it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like it kind of opens your eyes a little bit as a kid, and that's why it, like, sticks in my head, because it was a story of friendship and just all these things. Like, it did all the stuff, the talking animals and all that, but then when it ended sadly, it was like, wow, it was kind of like, it's like, when you think back on it, you're like, oh man, it's it influences you in a way where it's like you don't even realize it, just like not even just for writing, but just in life, where it's like, oh, you know, so, losses, bad endings exist. So that's like why I put that there on books that were just influential on me.
Remind me again what the ending of Charlotte's Web is.
Oh well, the spider dies. The
Okay, that's
spider,
what I thought. I thought it was the spider.
yeah.
But the pig is a pig.
The pig is a pig. Charlotte is the
Right.
spider. I forgot when. I think the spider had kids. I just forgot she died giving birth to kids or something else.
I remember that a lot, not from the book, but from the like cartoon. Was there a cartoon
Mm,
movie with it?
I think there's a cartoon movie. I think I watched the live action one when I
That's
was the
okay.
book and the live action. But I think there was a cartoon, yes.
The one I watched was cartoon, and that's how I learned the word smorgasbord. Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord. I
The
mean, I know
rat
I
the rat is at the fair and he's eating up all the like scraps. Is that part of the story? Am I getting this right?
man, it's been so long. I can't remember, but it probably was. I do remember there was a fair, so it probably was part of there.
Yeah,
Smorgasbord?
smorgasbord and trough.
Yeah, there was
Is that
definitely
there? Yeah.
odd words. There's definitely some odd words in Charlotte's Web that is just like I don't know. It's like but like I know it's just like I forget, So it's like I don't know. It's subconscious. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's like a book that really gets into your subconscious,
Yeah,
which
do you
is
feel
good in a
like
way.
Charlotte's Web was the first time you realized that like stories could end not happy?
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely say like at least the earliest memory, because obviously you got to go way back. But I say that's like the first story where I realized, yeah, it can't, it wouldn't, it doesn't have to end happy. So yeah, I'll definitely say Charlotte's Web was like the first real example of
Yeah.
that like the downer endings exist. So yeah,
Is there a book you continually come back to? Like a book that's
uh,
influenced you like return to?
I've really tried to think about it, and it's kind of hard to pick one. But I'll definitely say there is this one work of fiction that I do return to from time to time, which is like a fan work off the video game franchise, Mario, that I like to just return to sometimes because it's just like I like stories. I'll definitely say I like stories with sibling bonds. I don't know, like I always enjoy those, sibling bonds. So there's this one work of fiction. It was fan made, but like it focuses on on the sibling bond of these characters from that franchise, and that influences me because a lot of my stories do have that sibling bond in there, and just like just the togetherness of that. Like I don't know, like I just like sibling bonds. I find those fun, endearing, and you could do stuff with it. So that fiction has definitely, but it's basically a lot in that class. Isn't just that fiction, just a lot in that class of fiction just influences me, and, you know, I would definitely say that. I guess if I had to say there was another one other than, like, this those sibling bond type stuff, I guess I'm a sucker for a good romance or 2, so I guess I'll say I return to those a couple
Who isn't?
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's
Uh,
what I would say.
do you ever continue? Did you ever go back to books based on like period, like the setting, I guess?
Uh, yeah, well, go back I was saying recent times now, but there's books I have, uh, had an old history book about my ancestry. I remember there's this book I had where it was like a World War II book about this female fighter jet. I tried looking it up. I do not remember. I think I found it, but I don't know for sure. It was like Night Flyers or something. But it was like this book where like this girl was like a fighter pilot for World War II, and I don't know, I just found that interesting. I think she was trying to find her sister, and she joined to do that, and I just was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," because it's just like it was grounded, and it felt like, you know what I mean? It was different because I like fantastical stuff, so it's just being so grounded and so human, like vulnerability. I was just like, "Oh, okay, that's That's interesting. That's different. So yeah, I'll definitely
Is that a
say.
true story or fiction story?
I think it's historical fiction. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say it's
Okay.
historical fiction. Or it could have been a true story. I think I might have said based on a true story on the cover. It's just hard to remember. I'd have if I like I looked it up, so like if it was what I thought it was, I would have to reread it to see because I remember some of what like it was about. So if I reread it, I probably would be able to say like yeah, which book it is.
Nice. When you're reading, are you paying attention to like what pops out at you? Is it the words and the language, or is it how it makes you feel? Like what are
It's
you
more
attracted
so
to most?
I like the feel because you know language is cool, but you know what I mean. It's it's a vessel delivered because language is very important. Like vocabulary and the way things are delivered, it's very important. But at the end of the day, they're done that way to make you feel, and that's what I want. I want to feel. I want to feel what I'm supposed to feel. You know, I want to feel. You know what I mean? I want to feel sadness. I want to feel happiness. I want to feel. That's what I look for most. Because if something sad's happening and I'm not sad, then I just you know what I mean I'm not really inspired or anything from it. Because you know everything you engage with you know on a writing level you can get an idea from. So it's all about the feelings. You know, it's got to give you that feeling to either be an active fan or to just get inspired. So if it doesn't do that, I just you know what I mean that's just not for me.
What are your thoughts on like books of, say, ideas, more like nonfiction? Do you feel like you can feel from it?
Nonfiction, I would definitely say I
I
could
feel like you don't
definitely because like
gravitate
and
towards nonfiction.
I'm not a big nonfiction guy, but I won't say that it's not like, you know what I mean? Because like if it's a personal story of somebody's, then you know, I can still get like what they're trying to convey. Or if it's a book trying to teach me something, then like, you know what I mean? It's like it makes me think, it can enlighten. So that's still valued, you know, you can still feel something off of that. So it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's again like it's about, you know, how you're writing. Because you can write about anything and make it have feeling, you know. You know, you can really just talk about how you lost your ball in a tree. I could feel empathy. You know what I mean? It's all about just infusing that feeling, you know, because as a writer, you know, you just want to connect with the reader on some type of level, you know, whether you're trying to make them laugh or whether you're trying to, you know, make them shocked or cry, you know, you just got to engage with them on a level, you know what I mean, between you and the reader. So that's what I think there.
Yeah, I see that. I tend to read a lot of nonfiction, and I can't really like with my brain, I feel like I'm not intending to store information, but process information. And when I'm reading nonfiction, I might not remember this whole book of information, but I remember like how I felt, and that helped propel me for like next moves moving forward,
Mm, yeah.
which is, it has to be part of the role of the writer, right? To get that out of you in a way.
Yeah. Just to get that out of you and to make it stick with you. That's really what what a writer's supposed to do is just to make it stick with you, you know, because a boring book, you know, I mean, a boring book is just it comes and it goes, but you know, a good book or a good show, movie, comic, anything, you know, it could even be like an advert, like you know, a slogan. I mean, like a slogan, like that's what I mean. It sticks with you, you know, or a jingle, you know.
What's the last ad that stuck with you?
That's a good question.
Because
I don't
theoretically, it
know.
stuck with you.
That's a good point. First thing that comes to mind, I don't know. I hope this is official. It was like this Dr. Pepper ad where it was of it was this girl, right, saying Dr. Pepper, and then they actually took it and made it. It's like it was like Dr. Pepper. It's cool and nice, and I don't know that just stuck with me because it was like it just felt real old, like the blues, like the old rhythmic blues. So it's just like, it just stuck with me. It was just describing how Dr. Pepper is, but like it stuck with because it just I could feel I could feel her enjoyment of Dr. Pepper through it, so it just stuck with me. You know what I mean? It's
That's a hard question to answer, to, like,
yeah,
access ads at the top of your head, because the ads
exactly
are like,
everywhere.
yeah, and it's essentially to give you an impression of a product, because most people are too busy with their lives to, like, really analyze this
Zone in,
ad, like,
pop.
what does it convey to me?
Yeah.
Um,
I remember there's this one ad that has stuck with me, which I could use as an example. I remember it was a Super Bowl ad from like a couple years ago now. I would say 2023 probably. You ever go to the store and see like a chip called popcorners?
what is it? What did you say?
Popcorners is a chip called popcorners. It's like an actual chip, but it's like popcorn is like, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
but like what they
I
do
thought
for
you
the
meant, like, a
ad.
microchip for computers.
No, it was like an
Shit, okay.
actual chip bag, like a snack. But like
Oh,
they
Pop, the
got
brand Pop?
no
I feel like
popcorners. It's
okay.
like the chip is literally like popped, like popcorn. Like it's got the things on it, like the bumps on it, but it's like an actual chip, like a triangle. And so what they did for the ad is they got the show like Breaking Bad, and I feel like everyone knows Breaking Bad, but it actually got like the actual actors and like all that stuff to do it. So it's like instead of them cooking the you know what, they're actually cooking like the chips. They're cooking the chips instead. And it was just like I remember seeing it, I was like, I just loved it. I fell in love because it was just like everything that I knew from that I love about Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad is my favorite show personally, like ever. So it's like it just like it recontextualized all those things.
Mm.
So it's like all those iconic stuff, it just recontextualized it because I already felt it was just like a great it's like revamped or reinterpretations, which can honestly be great if you do it right. Because you take what people love before and you retwist it in a new way. So it's like you fall in love with it in a whole nother way and it sticks with you a whole different way. So, it's like one of the scenes on the show where where it was like Walter was like, obviously say my name. Everyone's seen that clip. Obviously, he's trying to prove himself be a to be like a threat. Obviously, that's Heisenberg. But then in the commercial, he would say their name instead of his names, and so it would say the name of the chip, and like it was funny. So it's like it just recontextualized what you love in a new way. So it's like that. You know what I mean? It's using what you love, but using it in a new inventive way. That's fun. So yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up later, but let's discuss it now. The last time we spoke, you talking about Vince Gilligan as one of your favorite writers.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because usually when we think of writers, it goes towards like books and like literature
Yeah.
like that. But you brought up like creating and bringing to life a television show. Why don't you
Mm.
elaborate on that?
Well, like ever since I was young, I just, always wanted to make cartoons, and it spun out to just TV shows, movies in general. Cause I'm just a visual person. Like I just love visuals and what you could just do with them, like you could, like I couldn't put it properly into words. I just love visual. Like when I'm writing, even if the writing is purely like just to be read, I always visualize it. I always write in a way that can be visualized like clearly and distinctly. So it's like someone could see what I was seeing while writing it, at least hopefully, obviously. So that's why I say that because it's like, you know, he was able to write that and visually put it on screen in ways that are just interesting. Like the visual storytelling and those shows are just great. And that's why I love visual storytelling. It's just when they use color and stuff. Like the Daredevil, there's this a show from like 2015, Daredevil, where it's just like it just like it was a like a regular live action show, but it just the way it would use the camera and all that stuff, it just felt like it just like you could feel the authenticness and the motion and the energy through the camera. So it just like it captivated you. It felt like he put you in the scene. I love when it happens, they put you in the scene. Like the 2018 Spider-Verse cartoon movie, it's just like it's just it's like revolutionary. It's just the way they play with the colors and the paneling and the framing and just doing all that stuff. Like you can like people are still finding new details to this day. That's how good of like a job it does visually. That it's like everyone knows the shot where it's like Miles is falling off the building, finally getting having like gotten assured with his powers, but like they reverse it so him falling is actually looking like him rising, and it's just like it just it hits because it's like at that point in the movie, like the movie's themes of being yourself and finding yourself, it hits. So, you know, like falling turns into rising. So it's just it just clicks, you know, it sticks with you. Like that's an image that's gonna stick with me forever. So it's just like visually, I just want I want to do so much stuff with visuals. So like my dreams ultimately just like TVs and movies because like the visuals is just like the visuals is just where like you just you stick in people's minds, you know, because like what you like because you're remembering what you see. I mean, obviously you can remember what you read because that's information. You can remember what you hear because that's some that's memorable, but it's just visuals. It's like when you close your eyes, you could just see it, you know, it just pops out, you know. And so I just love visuals. That's the best way to describe it. It just visuals help me as you know, an artist, as a person, just like you know, make things clearer. Like
Yeah.
it's just hard to explain. Like it's one of those things where it just is, you know. And I guess that's how I describe a lot of things, but I won't jump the gun on that one.
So with Vince Gilligan, you feel like he's able to write in a way where the visuals can be communicated
Yes,
really
to
well.
whatever visual teams are working on those shows, it's able to be just brought up the chain and just visually communicated to just like just how it should just it be, you know. That's and every writer that was on that show could just visually do it in a way that just had great visual composition, like write in a way that could lead to great visual composition. And then its prequel show even more so because it just has some great shots. Like you could feel like almost like the emotion in the shot, like establishing shots almost felt way bigger than they actually were because it's just like they knew when to
Mm.
put their establishing shots. So it's just that's how I feel. It's like almost like I feel like at least I this is how I interpret it because you know the power of interpretation is very strong. I just feel like they just knew what shots they wanted for each piece of the script and of the puzzle. So yeah, and that's how I try to approach my writing. I just know what I want it to like look like at this point. You know, even if it's never if it's even if it's not meant to go and be visual, I want it to still like look like this at this part. And so I need to communicate that through the writing so other people can visualize it with me and see the vision I'm seeing. You know, that's
Do
how
you, when you're first approaching, did you like, I woke up mythologized. Did you storyboard that out? Did you, like, visualize it that way, or was it all in text?
it was just it just it popped into my head and it pops into my head pretty much like a movie at first that like I could just use things that I already knew and recognize and then it became its like own thing. It just like that's it. I could just say popped in my head like a movie because of things that were influencing me, just the thoughts of writing a book and things I was just watching documentaries watching at a time, and it just became its own thing. And that's how I woke up mythology kind of came about. It was more so like just it was what would like take this movie kind of idea and just simplify it into like a on a paper type thing, you know, not simplify, I would say uh
Translate?
yeah, translate it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
into into a written form, you know. So yeah, that's how I feel like that came about.
Okay. What is your consumption of creativity look like on a daily basis?
Just every day, honestly. It's just, you know, I mean, it's just it just I just consume it.
But what does that mean? Like,
I was just trying to figure out how to put it into words. It's like Like, a consuming can mean all types, like,
Uh,
it's like, sometimes I'll go back and consume I like consuming my own the most, just to see what I can improve or some good ideas that I might have had, or just ideas that I really personally enjoy. Like, I like consuming that or other people's ideas because that's where you can get inspiration or you could learn something like what makes this good and like, oh, what's makes what I mean? Like, oh, okay, this makes something good. Let me see how I can how I can what's the word? Trying to discover the word. It's
like build upon it or
yeah,
use
build
it or
upon or no, make my own thing, make it my own original thing. That's
okay.
how and then and then obviously there's a lot of like, oh, this is bad. I don't like this. There's issues with this. So it's just like what to avoid in my own work. That's it. You know what I mean? How to avoid in my own
So
work. Something I feel like it's not.
so when you're consuming stuff, you're practicing that of like how you can use it, apply it, reinvent it. But is that your intention going in like each day? Or does the day start happening and you find yourself drawn to certain things and then
The
it's just
day
like
it,
a
it, it happens,
unconscious kind of thing?
it's that's it. It's just fixations. Like I have so many other like projects. Like, I have my own original projects, but then I got the projects that are not derivative. I would say it's additions. Like I genuinely have projects where I want to work with the original creators of things that like basically just work with them to add things that I think they have some either interesting or something genuinely good. And then I'm just like just something else that could be like an addition to that could just works. You know what I mean? I get fixated and I add my own original ideas or concepts to it that I generally think could be its own good thing within the playground that is their original, works or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it's almost like fan content, except I would prefer to make it official one day if possible. So it's just when I wake up
that's
and
an
I
interesting
consume
way to put
something,
it.
it just happens. It just happens. That's it. You know what I mean? Because that's really just the kind of the joy of creation there. Just the joy of creation. Man, it's just discovering almost. It's like being an explorer, just kind of
Mm.
discovering some that just like inspires you and just like it's almost like just a new way to either just train or to master that craft or to just you know what I mean? It's just to to express a feeling you have about some. So it's just when you consume it, it's just that's the ideal thing. Just you get some out of it. You know what I mean? When you consume some, you get some out of it
So do
because
you
it's like food. Like when you consume food, you want to get substance, you want to get energy, you want to
yeah,
get some. So yeah.
a lot of people pleasure out of eating
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, just pleasure, just enjoyment out of it. Like, and,
Emotions.
I
Yeah.
guess yeah, even as a writer, you wanna just feel joy sometimes. I don't go into things always trying to get from it, you just end up getting inspired. Like, I was watching Stranger Things on Netflix because, everyone was watching it, and it took a while. It took 4 seasons, there's 5 seasons. It took 4 seasons before I got inspired for anything I could apply to my own stuff. So it's just, I try to so I don't go in trying to get inspired or to add upon or derive. It's just I consume like a consumer until I turn back into a writer. That's it.
You don't force it, and it comes
Yeah,
let it come
exactly.
natural. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just with anything creative. You don't force it. You just gotta let it happen.
Do you find that in the works of art that you're attracted to, do you find that there's any patterns within them?
Oh, that's uh kind of hard to answer. I'll admit. I've thought about it. Just you know, it's more so just honestly, I just try to look for whatever's good, and certain things might make me curious, but I couldn't say there's like patterns into what I like because there's a chance that I might like this or I might not like this. You know, it's like something that maybe I should have liked, I don't like, and something that I didn't expect to like, I will like. So it's just, it's about just not looking for it's about breaking out your comfort zone, I guess I would say. It's not looking for, oh, I like this, so I'm gonna watch more stuff like this. It's about being open to just trying new things that you wouldn't have expected to ever be interested or not normally into, and just being curious to see what it's about. So that's it. I guess it's like a growth mindset type thing. Just widening your palate, whether you like it or not. It's just see what you get out of it. It's like a gamble, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard thing to do to like express patterns. So the human brain, this is still like not primitive, but it's not. So each second, your brain processes either okay, either 100,000 bits of information or like 10 million bits of information at once. It's unclear which it is, but it's a drastic amount compared to you're only consciously able to absorb 40 bits of information.
Mm,
So if like all of our experiences were in each moment during the day, our senses are taking in so many bits of information, but we can only consciously recognize about 40. So there's like all these other like subconscious bits that influence us, and it goes into like the patterns and things where like we might approach things thinking a certain way, but our subconscious can kind of lead us there or like know more than what we know in a way. I find that concept really fascinating.
that's that's some, yeah, I would have to think about even more because it's like
But it goes back to
it
like
makes
not
sense. It just
thinking
make
in a way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
more
it
like
just makes
feeling,
sense.
leading with feel.
Yeah. It's just like I guess it's just like your brain just leading you to like it's like kind of like your brain's picking and it's like kind of like when you make a to-do list and just choosing all what's important, what has to be done, what could be moved back, what's can be scrapped. It's like that. It's like cutting room floor. It's just your brain's like got all this information on the cutting room floor, just seeing what most so connects with you and what is more relevant to who you are and what you're interested in. So it's like that. It's like the cutting room floor, I guess.
Yeah, it's
So
interesting.
that makes a lot of sense actually.
Do you find yourself more influenced by people from the past or contemporaries?
Uh both. Both. I remember I actually I appreciate all generations because I feel like they all have something to learn from, honestly. Because I find it just imperative that you fuse all that you learn. So like I might go back to an old generation and like, okay, this generation has whimsy. I say I want some of that whimsy, but I want to mix it with the more modern like edge or sensibilities. It's like that. It's just like you take all it's because that's how you build your own kind of thing. Because obviously it's hard for the human brain to come up with like a truly original idea. So sometimes it's just about remixing. It's obviously for something to be fresh, if it's already to be something to be fresh, it has to be. there has to be a stale thing. So it's like that, just taking all these bits and pieces and I guess Frankensteining them into your own just glossary, or like it's like a quilt, you know. You take
Yeah.
all these pieces of different blankets and stitching them together. That's basically how it is. And it's like, or it can even be as simple as like how your artistic influences instincts, your artistic instincts, you know, and how you have to mix that with commercial appeal, to have sometimes the best of both worlds, where it's artistically sound and still fulfilling, but still like a general audience member could still understand and just deal with it on that level, without having to search very deep, not that there isn't anything there if you do search, just how they can understand it on their own, in between their own life and get something that they feel during their day or apply to their own life. So that's just how I feel about when it comes to influences from present or past. Just it's a mixture of all that you can learn.
Yeah, we talked about this idea of like universality before of the, like human phenomenon and stuff. I was curious when you're talking about like the quilt and taking from the past and putting it
Yeah,
together, fusing ideas together, in order for something to be fresh, something has to be stale. Like
yeah.
I feel like there's this question that is floating around. And when I say floating around, I'm just saying like, I don't know. It's like out there that is anything original anymore? Like, are we in a time now where we have access to like all the information, like everything that's happened and everything that's been done by a click of a button, we have access to it. So it's like the ability to be influenced by something else. It leads to this question of what is original if we're fusing everything together. I'd just be curious on what you think about that concept.
Hmm. Well, it's probably a little bit more complicated than that, but I guess I would say originality. I guess like it all kind of boils down to, is are you like, can they see you through this, because if it is, because if, let's say like this, if it truly is like a true ripoff, I guess would be like if it just feels like something else. But if they
Oh, that's a
if
good,
they
yeah.
if they read, if they hear, if they see, if they know you're there in the writing, like it's you, then it's original because they know they can only really get that from you. They can only really they can only get your life experience, your personality, your love, your hate, your you from what they're reading, what they're interacting with, what they're engaging with. So that's why I feel about originality. It's like even if you're inspired by other works, and like I said, I'm inspired by tons of things, but I still feel like I would say overall they're 100% original because simply put, just the way they're structured, put together, planned, written, all that stuff, you can just only get it from me. Like it wouldn't be like if I like, let's say I derived just a lot of stuff. Like I had a project that I derived heavily from something else, but even if I gave it back to the original people that had the original idea or whatever, it wouldn't be the same because it's not me writing it and and redetailing it. A ripoff is just feeling, it's just being the same. So, and being original is, despite having influences, still existing on its own merit and as its own being with its own things to say or emotions to convey. So yeah.
Like it's almost like the filter and the packaging is what makes
Yeah.
something original in a way.
Yeah. I would say it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What does your creative process look like at your best? Like what let me into your world here. What does it look like when
Is
your creative process is at its best?
it is a chaotic world, I guess is the best was the first way I describe it. It honestly just varies. Like it's one of those things where it's like either sometime it's like sometimes you gotta do it because there's more on the line or not on the line, just more, it has to be done. But a lot of times it's one of those things you just gotta it's like Tame Impala said, which is a artist that I like, you just gotta let it happen. And that's how I feel about the creative process. You gotta just let it happen because it's like a river, if creative process is a river, then block is just a dam, and you gotta just wait for that dam to bust down because it's gonna come back. It's gonna hit like a flood, and it's just gonna rejuvenate you. You're gonna come back. It's just sometimes you're living, and then you get hit with random inspiration out of nowhere, and it happens for me all the time. Like I just get absolutely hit with it, and I just run with it. I just run with it. There's like so much. I had to write it down because there was just so much to go over. But to get really down to it, it's like, let's see, it's it's just how do I describe this in a good way?
In a good way.
It's 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 like if you have a great idea in your mind, right? It's like you know the greatness is already there, right, in your mind. It's just your spirit and your mind has to connect for the will to like drive the process, the work, and
Mm.
so it's like it's a spiritual thing. You have to connect with your mind to express your soul, I guess, to get all three out the way. So, and that's just for anything, that's just for anything. But in terms of the creative process, you just gotta let it
Yeah.
just go. And again, it goes back to that visualize, visualizing helps, visualizing just something just helps. But like at the end of the day, like visualization, mood, uh routine, environment, like those are all helpful, but it's all about just the will and the spirit and the drive to really go do that and get that, you know because at the end of the day it all comes back to the original love you have for it, and
Mm.
whatever, because for me it's the love and the kind of competitive drive that I have for it to just make the best, so it comes back to that. It's really what I want. I just want to make the best. And so my creative process is influenced by that. Like I could just be seeing something that is that I really like, or I even see being praised, and I'm just like I gotta outperform that. So it's that, but it's all about the original love that I have for it, just the love and the unbreakable bond I have with creativity that really drives the process. So
Do you
that's
how much stock do you put into environment and what would your environment typically look like?
it varies. Like I could really like if I have to, I'll do it anywhere. But I guess it's more so like I just like I just like a little bit of I think my environment just needs space for me to walk around and pace. I think that really helps pacing around and maybe even as embarrassing as submit, act out a little bit. You
Okay, I like
just
that.
what needs, what I mean, just to get because there's like coiled energy in your body, it's like getting that out in the air and just fill in the atmosphere with whatever you're feeling or and whatever you're visualizing. That's how it is, you know.
So how do you balance like that intuition with discipline?
Um, it's well, when you know there's just things at stake, that's when when there's things at stake, you just like like it's important, especially when you're an adult now. It's like you just know that it's just like it's no longer just because sometimes you don't have the luxury to be able to just wait for it to come back. Sometimes you just gotta take the leap and just go because you're gonna because when you're really good at something, you know that you're gonna succeed, but you just need to run through it, be damned whatever is stopping you, you know. And even if that thing stopping you is often yourself, you just gotta remember that just what you want out of life, what you need to do to get what you want out of life, and just even the people that depend on you or are proud or just think the most of you, just just inspiring you, or just the belief in yourself, just the not even the want, just the need to succeed is what breeds the drive, and that's kind of like the discipline right there. It's having that focus, that vision. The vision is the discipline
I
because
like that.
if you don't want to lose the vision, you have to have the discipline.
Vision is
Run a
important.
little bit.
People
Yeah,
people underestimate vision.
it's very important. It's just
Yeah.
like visualization. It's imperative. It's imperative to just being a creative force or just being any force. You need to have the vision. What do you ultimately want out of it? So yeah,
Yeah. Years from now, when people come across your work, how do you want them to feel?
inspired. I like to have them feel just inspired, like just how I feel when I'm seeing some works that I connect with. I want them to feel inspired and to find my work just so good that they just have like a feeling of like a kinship and develop like a love for it. Just just greatest, and I want my work, my projects to transcend their own selves and just like whatever era they're in and just become just positive influences on the world. That's just positive influence, like, and just to inspire other people and artists like myself to just go out and just create whatever it is that they want to make and just finding not only their own confidence to share their work, but just finding finding their like their spot or their perch or whatever, and just keep going if there's more to go, and just never stop. Just go out and get it. That's what I want my work to influence. Just that, just you know what I mean? Because if there was more, just like positive influence and just more like if just people going out and doing what they truly wanted, I feel like it would just benefit the world much more. Just you know,
Yeah.
s- just a beautiful thing. I guess is the saying. It's just not trying to sound pretentious. It's just I guess if
You're
people
right though.
just
I
yeah,
agree.
if people just did what they truly wanted, I feel like it would be a better place. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Just people being themselves, I feel like it'd be a better place, you know.
Yeah. What kind of music are you listening to lately?
I'll listen to anything as long as it sounds good. But mainly it rotates around hip hop with it mainly focusing on Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Because he's my favorite artist and just he also
What's your favorite Kendrick
influenced me
album?
a lot. That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. That would require a part two. I'm sorry. I would say right now it's either Good Kid, Mad City, or To Pimp a Butterfly. They're both just
I have both those on vinyl. Yeah.
yeah. I gotta get mine for vinyl. I do have an album from like my second favorite artist on vinyl, but other than that, no. Yeah, Juice World is another one. I don't listen to him as much, and I'm a little older, but I still hold a soft spot. I also listen to indie. Indie really helps me a lot with just writing because it just puts you in a vibe, or just creativity in general. Just puts you in a vibe.
It's like an atmospheric state.
Atmospheric state, yes, it's very,
Yeah.
very atmospheric. It's like how hip hop gets me. Yeah, it can, I mean, it can make me feel all emotions, but I mainly love hip hop that makes me excited. And indie gets me an atmospheric, and then the final, which is really important. I'll say actually does help me with my process is like cinematic or like more experimental stuff
Okay.
where it helps me visualize a scene just so clearly and vividly in my head. Like it just like
Mm.
like it helps me visualize, and the music's just there. Like it just it's like those cinematic experimentals, whatever they're called. I call them masterpieces. It's just has helped me written some absolutely incredible stuff, honestly. Or even if it hasn't helped me, yeah, I'll say it definitely has helped me written incredible stuff. Yeah, I'll say it definitely has. Or at least it just goes so perfectly. Like it's like the cherry on top. It's either as help,
Okay.
either it's like the foundation of some incredible scenes, or the cherry on top. It you know. So that's what I listen to, and those all just they all just play a role in just how I am and just how I work.
Yeah. Music is so intertwined with ideas
So
and work and
it's just
process.
intertwined. It's intertwined with life in general, you know.
Yeah.
It can
Yeah.
just
Totally.
it's just it's just like it's a connection. Like it's all about it's like creativity. It's all about that connection.
Hmm.
So yeah.
What what's something right now? Like, what are you becoming more aware that you're learning right now?
Um Nothing that I could like really recall properly right now. I would just say like right now, it's more so just working on myself and mastering my craft and just getting more intertwined with just my adult life and college life and all that stuff, I would say. So I would say just learning how to juggle things and just how to. So it's more so, I guess, what I'm doing. I guess it helps. It's like just what I'm doing in general for just career and all that stuff in general. So
Okay.
that's what I would say I'm learning.
Nice.
Mm.
What are you
Well,
curious
Matt,
about?
curious. I actually was thinking about this recently when I was on Instagram, but it's just how the world's changing. I was just worrying about like how the disconnection, like with social media, like how disconnection is with social media, how it influences like how we perceive things. Because
Mm,
from what I've been seeing a lot of stuff about some admittedly not like it's not like not great people. It's not great people. But it's these jokes or memes, I mean, memes, jokes, about all this stuff. And it's kind of like it makes me wonder like how does this affect my generation's ability to take things seriously? Because
mm,
it's like nothing like it's because it's like on one hand, it's not like sympathy is really needed for these people, obviously, but it's like more than just the people, like the subjects themselves. It's like um just the people affected. It's just one of those things where it's like, how do we? I'm obviously I'm guilty of this myself. I'm actively guilty of this myself. Just just not taking things like utmost serious as probably as I should. But it just made me wonder like how me and my generation just like take things like how has social media influenced our just uh our like seriousness, or just how, or just like taboo, I guess, how, because obviously generations get more accustomed to things. Just how is that going to affect like the taboo of things? Because they're like, because again, it's like at this point, like it's like I guess there's nothing too sensitive, I guess, to say. I guess
mm.
there's nothing like ultimately, like, at least from what I've seen. I'm not saying it's all this in general, but it's not a lot of sensitive stuff anymore. So, I mean, the sensitive topics, I guess. You can make a joke out of pretty much everything. And I'm not gonna say they're not like some of them haven't made me laugh, but it's just, it just made me wonder. It's just how do we perceive things now?
And it's interesting that our perceptions of reality are actually coming from images,
Mm.
not necessarily images dispersed through a physical technology thing. You
Yeah.
know, our perception of the world is most influenced now, it seems like, by images we see on this, which
Yeah.
is like an interesting concept, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of then double-edged sword because it's like on one hand, I'll definitely say just I I mean, at least from a recent example from just today, it doesn't seem like they're falling for like any type of propaganda or whatever. But it's also just like, it's just it's a detachment, I guess. You're just general don't care. And like again, I'm guilty of this too. It's like it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just I guess it's just an interesting thing to think about, just how it affects just I guess just who we are, I guess. That's the best way I could say it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Um, Kind of wrapping up here, and we had mentioned visualization before. How do
Yes.
you envision your life when it comes to growth and fulfillment? Big
Just
questions, but
that is a big question. Just it's grandiose. I'm gonna start that off. It's very grandiose.
okay.
But just that it's just I wanna work and get that stamp of just like I like we said in that first ever email, greatest modern or storyteller of all time, just to work and get that stamp or at least get some or just some close, can't be, can't be unappreciative, but to get that stamp and to get a life and do what I can because obviously money is all nice and stuff. Obviously we all love money, but it's more than that. It's the legacy. It's the
Mm,
legacy. It's the respect, and then it's the family. Because obviously, I mean, I don't see myself ever really stopping creating, even when I'm like old and stuff. But just foot off the brakes and being more special with it, and more delicate care, and letting whatever children letting my children, if they want to do that stuff, just letting my children, take over in that regard and just making my stuff special, like just like the things that I like the projects that I truly hold dear, just taking care of that and giving back to people that hopefully will support me in my life, my career, my artistic journey, and just earning that stamp of just being like the greatest artist, it's just to really obtain that and to actually inspire and help other artists like myself right now and how I am now, just helping them also get their futures and get their happy endings. That's really it. I really want a happy ending. That's it.
yeah.
I mean?
You don't want the
That
Charlotte's Web ending
I don't want the
as
Charlotte's
much?
Web. I don't want the Charlotte's Web ending. Even if I do, I still want that stamp before I get the Charlotte Webb's
It
treatment.
might be more artistic.
It might be alright. It would be full circle. But at the end
You
of
do have a very mature perspective on things, I think.
oh, that's I appreciate
And
that very much. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah. I
It's
appreciate
just a
you too.
lifetime experience.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I'm
It's
energized by the project we're working on. I really enjoy when we meet up and stuff. It's been
I'm
good.
just very appreciative to even be here right now. Just, you know, completely honest. Just, I'm glad that we've been having these discussions and that we're working together on this. It's just been great. Honestly, that's it. So again,
Yeah.
appreciative entirely.
All right. Well, we'll see you later, Fortune. Thanks for stopping by.
I
We'll be in
appreciate it.
touch
Thanks for having
soon.
me on.